Boy, can I help you?
Listen up. I'm bringing you the best content to ever exist in the door-to-door industry, from sales, leadership, recruiting, and personal development.
Why would I need that?
Because never before have we been able to collaborate with the top experts in their industries, sharing their secrets and techniques on what makes them the best.
Wait, who are you?
I'm your host, Sam Taggart, creator of the DDD Experts and DDD Con. Is there a place we can sit down?
Well, come on in.
Vanilla is the fastest way to increase your Google and Facebook reviews through text. With a 98% open rate, Vanilla Reviews is the simplest, cheapest way to interact and engage with customers. Visit us at vanillagood.com for more information.
Hey everybody, this is Sam Taggart with the DDD Podcast, and I'm here with Nick Forsell, and we're here in Dallas, Texas at his office. It's like, 8:30, 8 o'clock at night, and we are still burning from both ends. So Never stop. I guess when you're out here hustling against 9,000 contractors, you gotta out hustle. It's like
plus or minus.
Yeah, I was like however many. Anyway, today when I was teaching, it was like, how many are there? Like, there's so many in Dallas, and
there's a lot of chucking the trucks.
A lot of chucking the trucks. Anyway, so today I want to dive into kind of what do you do to distinguish yourself? What do you do to stand out on the doors? What do you do to win people's business when they're bidding? And really kind of dive into this whole competitive marketplace and how we can distinguish ourselves to win and stop just being the guy that's like waiting for the phone to ring or waiting for the guy to just get that low-hanging fruit. So I'm excited to kind of dive into that, and then more of the sales side of things, which, obviously you've been in this since you were how old? Like, when did you kind of start in this?
In roofing, 18.
18,
yeah.
Since legal age.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so, years of experience. Excited to pick your brain. You've also been on SBG's courses. You've done some training.
Shot a lot of training videos in the SBG University.
It makes two of us. I like it.
It's good. It's fun though. Getting used to the camera.
Yeah. Anyway, so what we're going to do today, I'm going to ask you just a few questions, and then you just feel free to freestyle. Don't hold back.
Okay.
I want to hear the rawness. So first off, how have you seen the industry change since you're 18 to now?
Well, I don't think anybody knew what hail was when I was 18. There's a few of the 20 years ago, there were some industry innovators, the big guys back in the day, the Aspens and all that. They really got in when it was easy. We were just talking about how easy it would have been and how nice it would have been to sell when there was nobody to sell against.
Yeah, and there wasn't much regulation around pricing.
Insurance companies weren't going crazy trying to pop guys off for this, that, whatever, all the laws, and it's been a crazy turnaround. And I've been in building besides roofing. That's really what I did before I got into roofing, specifically as a remodeling contractor, decks and fences to home building, commercial buildings, fit outs, you name it, I've done it.
Wow.
So when I got into the storm, I was brought in by a storm that hit the neighborhood I grew up in, back up in the Midwest.
And you're like, might as well go sell them roofs.
Let's go. Everybody's calling, what do I do? And it was game on.
Yeah, because you kind of were the guy that knew how to do roofs, and they were here with needing a roof.
I had done their kitchen, or I had done their this or that, whatever. And they're like, oh my God, what do I do?
And you already had that rapport. And
right.
Cool.
So it was easy. It was an easy transition. And
never looked back.
I don't ever want to do another bathroom again in my life. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've helped some people who do the bathrooms and the kitchens and stuff, and I'm like, this seems a lot less headache.
Short term, just better turnaround. You're not sitting in somebody's house for weeks or months at a time.
Wow. Yeah, and they're sitting there like, well, I got my kids' practice at 3. You gotta leave, and you're just like, jeez.
Yeah, I literally had clients get divorced while the job was going. Moved out, divorced. I don't know if it was because of that job, but I think it was the nail in the coffin, maybe.
But you're just like this is awkward.
Yeah,
so, funniest story, and since you've been around, do you have any crazy story that comes to mind that you're just like, dude, there was this one customer, this one rep, this one whatever?
Oh man, I don't know if there's anything crazy. You put me on the spot too, so I'll definitely think about that while we go here. But just, you never know what's going to be behind that door. I love knocking doors, which I know you do too. A lot of guys don't get that, and you just never know. It's I don't think there's any major event that ever happened. Just all the little things, all the little quirks. I love when somebody's just a total butthole, And,
good word
just
choice. I like that.
Yeah. So you just through the door. Thank you, sir. have a great day. Thanks for making my day kind of deal, you know.
Yeah.
Kill them with kindness. I don't know. People's ignorance blows me away sometimes.
Just all the little things you see and just the little nuances of like, really? That's how they're going to treat a human being?
Or
like,
the attire that they show up to the door in.
Oh, yeah,
You know
dude.
that?
Have you ever had a naked person?
No, but open robe, tidy
Open robe.
whities, fuzzy slipper type. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had this old dude just naked. I'm like, really? You're just
hanging out?
You're just naked. Dude.
Oh, God.
And I think he had like dementia or something. You know what I mean? I'm like, he's not all there, but like, okay, we're going. So if you've had any of those, I mean, more power to you. It means you've knocked enough doors when you find the naked man.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about kind of some of the biggest hardships as you've kind of grown your own company and gone through kind of just figuring it out? I mean, you just moved into a nice office space here, and kind of it looks like you're obviously scaling. You've got Chicago just opened up, Denver or Colorado Springs here, a couple locations. I'm sure there's been some pain points in that process. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what's been some of the pivotal challenges that have kind of, I don't know, shaped you and gotten you where you are today?
I think one of the biggest challenges that I've overcome recently is proper management. Finding guys like Jason and my production manager here, Ryan, up in Chicago, and working with, I'm actually working with Nick Forsell under Alliance Construction. Just the management. If you don't have the proper management, everything else goes, it just goes away.
I even say leadership over management.
Better word for it.
You know what I mean?
Better
Because
word
I
for
think
it.
that there's a difference between managing, which I look at like fire putting outer, versus leading and like inspiring and putting the right systems and making sure that things are well oiled and moving.
Well, I always did everything myself. I had to do it all. I did all the selling, the building, the collecting, all of it. And then it got to a point where it's all right. Let's take that next step and bring on salesmen. And the first time I tried that, I didn't have the right leadership, even in myself, because I didn't know what I was doing.
And that's what happens most of the time.
I went from a retail industry to this crazy insurance world where it's just money all over the place and dealing with paperwork I've never read before.
Yeah,
it's not handwritten anymore.
Yeah, and you're like, that's really long. Yeah, I'm sure it says something important. Whatever.
It's good though.
We're all
everything's got to be to a T, or you get in big trouble in this game. So
when you say, man, I kicked me in the nuts when I had to move into leadership and I hired these sales guys, like, what are some of those lessons you learned that you were just like, oh, I wish I would have known that. Had I known this, I would have done this. Like, are there any like big ones that just kind of stick out that you're like, man, had I gone back, I wish I would have done this?
Commitment, I think. Just and for me, relinquishing some of that control. And he's over here shaking his head and rolling his eyes at me because I still every day he's like, let me do it. Just stop. Let me do it. I got it. Don't worry about it. So gaining that trust in your fellow leaders in your company is a huge thing. If you don't have people that you can trust and prove that you can trust them on a daily basis, you got nothing. You can have all the guys in the world, and if there's nobody to lead them, it's just a mess.
So this is an important principle, and I want to talk on this. And if you're listening to this, pay attention, because the biggest fault in most leaders is they don't lead. They want to hold on to everything, which leading, I think, is letting go. Like you said, it's saying, I trust in the people that are below me to do their job.
Because it's a hard thing to do.
And why do you think that is? You know what I mean? Think about it.
It's simple. I've done it myself for years and years and years, and it's just habit. There's good habits and bad habits, as we all know, and to break either one of them, it's a hard thing to do when you've done it for so long. And I've been burned.
Yeah,
when I first started, one of my very first manager left me to go to another company. So boom, my guard's up now. And every other manager after that I've tried to bring into my system, it's like, are you going to be here in 2 weeks? Because last guy wasn't.
I don't want to spend all this time and energy trying to empower you if you're not going to be around. And that's the biggest pitfall of what stops people from growth in this business. Mm-hmm. I watch people over and over say, I want to grow. And I'm like, do you really think you're going to grow if you're doing everything? And they go,
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I just can't find the right people. I'm like, are you allowing your people to be the right people?
Right.
That's the next question I ask. Like, if I went and interviewed him one-on-one and asked them, is he kind of a control freak? Does he ever actually empower you? What would they say? 9 times out of 10, that owner's like, well. So I think that's an important nugget. Everybody should pull from this. Like,
when we're looking for someone to come in and just completely blow us away, and the chances of that happening for anybody, I don't care how good you are, it's very slim. So you got to be realistic, and I think that's another big thing for me is when I first got into the industry, it was like, all right, come and show me how to do this thing that you call, storm chasing. And it didn't happen. So now it's like, shit, I got to figure this out. So slow growth, I'm all about slow growth. I don't want to go out and hire 40 guys and it's just a total shit show. And I can't manage it. And so I took a step back. I was like, all right, let's just take our time, figure it out, slow growth, find the right people. If I don't have the right people right now, they'll come. I'll find them. And when I got to Texas 2.5 years ago, it started to happen. I mean, my top sales guy to this day, I sat down at the bar next to him at a Hooters, and he just worked out completely outside the industry. And everybody else, I haven't really put ads out to find them. I've just kind of met them.
And you just say, hey, I got a better spot for you. Drop what you're doing, come here, and then you nurture them. Like when you lead somebody, what are some of the principles of leadership that you would say, man, a must do in order to get that guy you met at the bar into this top salesperson? Like what did you do to create that? Because I think a lot of people are like, well, I don't have that guy, right? Like what you said, like they think they can hire some guy to sweep them off their feet and take it over. And it's like, what did you do to take the guy from nomad to top guy? What did you do?
It was easy for me because it was just me when I got here. I didn't bring a team with me. I had moved from the Midwest to Jersey after Sandy, and then I was just coming here on my own. I wasn't bringing anybody with me. I had a partner at the time that we were working together, and we split and did our own thing. But I took Tanner, who I had met at that bar, and basically held his hand. I took him outdoor knocking, and I could do that because I didn't have anybody else to worry about. It was just me and him. So he got a lot of attention. And I think that's where I failed this year, is that I hired on 7 or 8 guys. And there's a few of them that were upset I didn't give them the attention they needed because I was busy doing my own thing with commercial sales and this and that, and I didn't commit. I gotta let that stuff go. If I really want to build a team, I gotta be able to give them everything I've got, which I can't do unless I've got help.
Yeah, so, it's either you got to count on another sales leader to like lead them, or you got to do it yourself. I
mean, the biggest thing was ordering and scheduling. Here, do that.
Yeah, because if you're a CEO, it's like, what's your hourly rate?
Oh, man.
And if your time is spent ordering and scheduling and paper pushing and putting out this fire, you're literally diminishing your value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think we all see that. Like, I fall into that. It's like, I was sending emails the other day. I'm like, I'm literally individually sending these dumb emails. I could literally pay somebody $5 an hour to do that.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous stuff.
We get sucked into the vortex of like busyness. Is what I call that. It's devil's anus is my nickname.
Okay.
So if you're watching this, don't get sucked into devil's anus.
Yeah, bad place to be.
Yes. So let me ask you this. You're out knocking. You said this weird word that no one ever says. I actually like knocking. It's like, well, who says that? It's weird. There's a few of us, right?
Yeah.
But what helped you change your perspective to like, this job sucks to I actually like knocking? I think that's an interesting question because it's like,
well, I was scared shitless the first time I ever did it.
Yeah.
Like, even it was people that I knew that I grew up in this neighborhood and I was familiar with it. I just, you got to give it. One of my guys says, I've got the gift of gab, where it just, after you do it for so long, it just flows, but man, the first year, the first 2 years even, especially after getting out of my comfort zone in my hometown and trying to go out and talk to people, and they're just people.
Yeah.
Once you realize that, I think you're better off. But
so it's just kind of understanding. It's like they're not gonna kill you.
No, they're just people.
Once you do it enough, it's like they're all people, and people are all pretty much the same. You know, they all want to feel love. They all have their insecurity. They all have their own life.
Yeah.
I do too.
Well, and the guy I'm talking about, Tanner, he always says, the worst that could happen is you walk away from that door with a roof you didn't have in the first place.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, that is the worst thing that can happen.
You didn't have it when you went there, so who cares if you don't have it when you leave? It didn't hurt you in any way.
That's awesome. So let's give some tips on the sales process. Like any advice that you're like, man, this has really worked for me. I mean, we're in a competitive space where, you know, it's not easy to knock. Yeah, it's cutthroat. People paying deductibles and people knocking every day, and you're the 10th. Hey, line up. You know what I mean? Like, so what has helped you stand out in the sales side?
Sometimes I ask them, so what number am I today?
That's your opener.
It is. You just got it. You just can't. Hello, sir. How are you today? This, that. You do the whole thing. It's just. I saw one of your videos actually. You lean against the column. I picked that one up from you. You'd like to just lean against the brick column.
Yeah, just chill.
Just lay back and not be that high pressure. You know, make them ask you about the roof or whatever you're selling.
Yeah.
What are you here for? You gonna
get to it?
Pitch me or
what? Like, well, if you want me to.
We can just keep talking. It's cool. You got some beer, whatever.
Yeah. I'm a person.
Yeah.
Because I think so often people approach it as like, I'm here to sell you. It's
yeah.
Like, no,
like, I have a job to do. I got to get this done. I got to follow everything I've been taught to a T. Okay. You need to have that when you get in the door.
Yes.
But at the door, you're selling yourself, not whatever your product is.
Amen. All you're doing is trying to buy another 30 seconds.
That's it.
It's like, I need to sell you on literally standing here for another 2 minutes on whatever it is we're talking about. Yeah. And I think a lot of people get so stuck on what's the script? I'm like, break the damn script.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the
script
opposite
is just a
of everything? Yeah, it's at
put
least
you
to
into
get
that
you started.
perspective.
Yeah, that's rookie mode.
Right.
I need to get you at least the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Now let's break it because every bad A veteran says nothing but nothing in the script. They just bring up their own dimension, their own angles. And I think that that's what's interesting about you. It's just like that. It's like, yeah, I'm just here. Like, what's up? And it's like how any other human.
I was that guy. I until I started slowly figuring it out. And with the super high pressure here in Texas, I mean, it's crazy here. It's a complete circus when the storm hits. You know, there's realistically, if you're in a one HOA neighborhood, there's probably 100 contractors in there that first day.
That's crazy.
You know,
that's
crazy. Probably a realistic number. A house with 300-400 homes, there's probably 100 salesmen. It may be 30 or 40 companies, but you know,
yeah, I think
these guys do these big blitzes and all this stuff. And vans pull up and guys get out. And it's like,
where's everybody coming from? So let me ask you this: you're in the home. They're like, I don't want to commit. I'm going to get a few bids. What's your rebuttal to that?
I tell them that's fine. I'll give you a bid, but you know, just do interviews. Don't get 3 estimates. Perform 3 interviews. Who look at the companies, make sure you check them out online, BBB, all that stuff, website, this, that, and the other. But conduct 3 interviews. We're all going to do, if it's a legitimate contractor, we're all going to do the same job, the same way, per the insurance proceeds, how it's expected. There's a scope where they're telling us how to do it and what to do it for. So just choose who you're most comfortable with. You know, it's not about a roof is a roof for the most part. A roof is a roof. Yep. Yes, there's different products. They're all similar. Most homers don't give a shit.
I hate if you're watching this, hold my tongue, but it goes back to, I mean, I speak for GAF and I love GAF. Shout it out. I just am always like, if you get them all so caught up on shingle, to me that just creates more research. It's like a shingle's a shingle. It's if it protects your roof, is that what you want?
Your basic line of shingles is all.
They're all going to be good. They don't build stuff today.
It's only going to last 5 years in Texas anyways, because it's going to get hit again.
It's a shingle. Like, we're not putting up there like full on.
You can get into performance where one outperforms the other, designer stuff like that. That's fine. You can get there. Hopefully you get there.
Yeah.
But just conduct 3 interviews. Make sure all their credentials are in a row. Look at their reviews. Look at their website. Do they have an office?
So speaking of reviews, I was kind of telling you about this vanilla product that I have, which we've helped some roofing companies go from 10 reviews to 100 reviews. I help an auto company go from 70 to 700. Like, I mean, that to me is like so impactful. So if you haven't checked out Vanilla yet, I mean, it's a reach out. I mean, we can get you a demo, but like I built the software simply because I watched companies with, if I have 500 and every roofing company you're shopping me against has 30, it's kind of like, you're really going to go with the guys that don't do a good job? You know what I mean? They might have a good job, but it's like, obviously I have more credibility. Like, you should go with somebody who's trusted, right? So I think that's a huge one. The other one that you said is simply you. I think a lot of people fail to sell you. When you're like, you're interviewing, I think a lot of people interview based on the website, BBB website and review, but I also think it's important to not negate you. So how do you sell a customer on
and that's a huge thing for me, because if you're a salesman of mine, you are a direct reflection of what the company is. So slow growth for me, and not going out and hiring 50 guys at once to hopefully get 5 good ones. What do those other 40 idiots do to your company and to your brand and to your reputation? And it's a scary thing. So I guess my understanding of that is what's probably kept me back, and maybe it's hurt me, maybe it's helped me. We'll see. I'm looking at long term, but it's not just me, the leader, the owner of the company. It's that they may never see me. As much as I used to like to shake everybody's hand, you start scaling, you do hundreds of jobs a year, whatever, you're not going to get to meet everybody. So it doesn't matter who owns the company, it's you that's out in the field. So
100%.
I mean,
it's how you're representing the company, because that's a huge difference. I mean, I look at it like, okay, there's 10 companies that are all exactly equal online. Who do they pick? The one that has a better sales guy that they jive with, that they want. I hope you make a commission on me.
Yeah. Like,
because you're the best.
Well, we call ourselves out in our presentation folders. We give 10 things to consider when choosing a contractor. We basically call ourselves out. It's right from the appearance of the salesman at the door. Did he show up in clean clothes, shirt, professional?
It's almost like a checklist.
Well, let's call ourselves out. Here's all the Texas laws that you need to know. Here's how to cancel a door-to-door sale. Let's call us out. If I'm that guy, would I be giving you that information?
Ooh, and it just creates trust.
Right.
Because, like, look, I'll say all the stuff that the other guy's not going to tell you. I like that. Nugget, secret sauce, love it. Okay,
Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Can we edit that out?
Yeah, we'll take that. Guys, too good, too gold. Okay, so a couple last questions. If I was a brand new starting out rep, what advice would you give me? Yeah, I've never done this. What would you tell me?
I tell you, be prepared to grind if you want to be successful. I mean, sun up to sundown. If you want to actually make it, especially in your early years, sun up to sundown. I'll show you the rest of it. It'll all come. But if you don't have that willingness to work.
So how do I stay motivated? Like, there's days where I'm like, man, it's tough, it's cold, it's dark. Like, what do I do to get fired back up?
That's our job. That's myself as a leader and everybody else. That's your support.
So make sure you have the right team.
You got to make sure you have the right team.
Cool.
And it's not just your sales manager or sales coordinator, whatever you want to call them, that's out there doing sales competitions. You showed me the Instagram, the companies that do all the really awesome sales competitions, and just keep it fun. You got to keep it fun. We talked about culture. I think that's one thing that I've definitely lacked. I like to talk about failures because I think, obviously you learn more from them. And I don't think I've been that motivator enough. You can throw money at some guys and it works. Some guys just want the status. They want to be the best. They want to be number one. Doesn't matter how much money.
Yeah, it's like
you got to read each individual guy, whether it's you or
One of the best advice I got was, there's the golden rule, which is treat others as you would like to be treated. The platinum rule is treat others as they want to be treated.
They want to be treated. And you have to figure that out
pretty quick. Exactly. It's like, does this guy care about money, or does he care about just me patting him on the back?
Does he after the iPad, or does he just want to high five?
A trip or a high five. Yeah. Like, some people get so fired up by you just like making them feel like $1 million. They'll go to war for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so one last question before we wrap up. If you could, and one, I want to appreciate your time. This has been fun. Obviously, I get to go meet cool people like you, and I travel, and this is always fun to do it on live. So if you have questions, make sure to ask them, and we'll go through and answer a couple of them.
I hope you can read that, because I can't see it.
Yeah, we can figure it out. Anyway, so what...
you moderate the questions for us?
Yeah, so ask these questions. I'm asking one last one. What would you give advice? Like, if you had to give advice to the entire industry today as it is, what piece of advice would you give it?
Oh, man. That's a big question.
And you can tailor it down and make it more specific. It could be to a rep, it could be an owner, it could be a manager.
All right, so it's a cliche thing, but keep it simple, stupid.
Okay.
Right? Kids. We can get lost in all of the Facebook and the Google and the this app and that app. I'm telling you, this year I tried it all. And I finally narrowed it down, but I got lost in all of it. You go to these conferences and expos and all this stuff, and you're like, man, that's awesome. I want to try that. That's a game changer. And you get lost in it, and then you forget about what your core is, like what you're supposed to be doing.
You think
and
that
you get
can
lost
just turn
and you
on
spin
some-
out of control, and that was part of my problem this year. I went all in, and I forgot what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah, you get so distracted by things that aren't your core competency. You know what I mean? Like, there's a core competency that we all make money when you build roofs.
Yeah.
You make money when you install. You make money when you collect. I mean, that's it. So it's like so many times you get distracted and like, let's try this secret sauce that I can make $1 million in a minute on a sales funnel that if I did, you know what I mean? And it's like,
great idea.
You could if I devoted everything I do, but that's not the core competency of what we are. And you have what I call like identity crises, which almost maybe is what you went through. It's like you have like a company identity failure.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh wait, let's go back to the simple basics.
And the most basic thing, Tim, the guy that I came here to be partners with, and he always said this, and it always stuck to this day. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on. If you have a problem with this, just sell more roofs. Just go sell roofs. Ran out of milk. Go sell more roofs. Like,
the best
it's the
answer.
simplest thing.
It solves
ever.
all issues.
Yeah. Oh, you're having a bad day? Oh, so and so broke. Go sell another roof.
And you're going to feel really good after you go
That's it.
collect.
Just go sell some.
You heard it firsthand. I love it.
Man. Keep it simple.